Society looks at a senior man living entirely alone and immediately diagnoses him with a tragedy. They assume he is isolated, they assume he is drowning in loneliness. They look at his empty passenger seat and assume he has somehow failed at life. But what if the exact opposite is true? What if science, psychology, and empirical data reveal a shocking reality that society refuses to accept? The cultural narrative dictates that human happiness is strictly defined by romantic entanglement. We are told that a man's golden years must be spent with a partner, or else his life is devoid of meaning. But behind closed doors, a massive demographic of men over the age of 60 are proving this narrative completely false. Far from being miserable, millions of single senior men are experiencing the healthiest, wealthiest, and most psychologically stable years of their entire lives. They are not merely surviving their solitude, they are thriving in it. Today we are going to deconstruct the psychology of the sovereign man. We will explore 5 shocking, scientifically backed reasons why senior men are fundamentally better off single. We will reveal how living alone after 60 is not a sentence to loneliness, but rather the ultimate life hack for supreme well-being. Let us uncover the truth. Reason number 1, a profound biological renaissance fueled by absolute freedom. We often view relationships purely through an emotional lens, but we must examine the severe physiological impact of cohabitation. When a man shares his life with a partner, his daily routine is no longer his own. He must compromise on when he sleeps, what he eats, and how his environment is structured. In clinical psychology, chronic relationship friction creates what is known as allostatic load, the physical wear and tear on the body caused by chronic stress. The daily necessity of walking on eggshells, avoiding arguments, or managing a partner's moods keeps a man's nervous system in a perpetual state of fight or flight. This spikes cortisol, elevates blood pressure, and destroys sleep quality. But observe the man who lives alone. When a senior man is single, he becomes the undisputed dictator of his own biology. He dictates his sleep schedule without the interruption of a restless partner. He dictates his exact nutritional intake without compromising on meals to appease someone else. He dictates the temperature, the noise level, and the rhythm of the household. Because he is free from the chronic stress of negotiation and marital arguments, his nervous system finally powers down. Studies consistently show that men who embrace peaceful solitude experience lower blood pressure, enhanced mental clarity, and superior cardiovascular health. The solitary life is not a lonely life. It is a life-extending medical sanctuary. Reason number 2. The establishment of an impenetrable fortress of financial stability. Let us speak with brutal economic honesty. In the modern dating market, relationships are astonishingly expensive. Society conditions men to act as permanent providers. When a senior man enters a relationship, he immediately assumes a massive, invisible relationship tax. He absorbs shared expenses. He funds a lifestyle that he likely would not have chosen for himself. And worst of all, he risks the catastrophic trap of gray divorce or cohabitation laws, where a failed late-stage relationship can legally strip him of half of his lifelong retirement savings. But the single senior man operates on a completely different mathematical plane. When a man is solely responsible for himself, his financial overhead plummets. He avoids the relentless drain of shared obligations. His money is 100% his own. This creates a profound psychological phenomenon: absolute financial security. With the extra income he preserves, he can aggressively invest in his own joy. He can fund his hobbies. He can invest in premium health care. He can travel wherever he desires, whenever he desires, without negotiating a budget. By remaining single, he ensures that the empire he spent 40 years bleeding to build remains entirely under his sovereign control. Reason number 3. Accelerated personal growth, fueled by radical autonomy. During the primary building years of a man's life, His personal passions are the first casualties of his responsibilities. He gives his youth to his employer. He gives his prime years to his family. He compromises his dreams to appease the preferences of his spouse. He places himself dead last on his own list of priorities. But when a senior man steps into the realm of permanent solitude, a renaissance occurs. Because he is responsible for no one but himself, his time and energy are completely liberated. He experiences radical autonomy. If he wants to learn a new language at 65, he spends hours studying in perfect silence. If he wants to spend an entire weekend in his garage restoring a classic car, no one complains that he isn't paying attention to them. If he wants to travel to a remote, foreign country, he simply packs a bag and leaves, without worrying if the destination suits a partner's delicate preferences. In psychology, this is the final stage of self-actualization. The single man grows at a highly accelerated rate because all of his cognitive energy is directed inward. He pursues the passions he abandoned decades ago. He does not stop evolving simply because he is older. In fact, free from the heavy anchor of compromise, his true evolution has only just begun. Reason number 4, the complete and total eradication of emotional friction. To live with a romantic partner is to live in a state of continuous, invisible friction. Long-term relationships are breeding grounds for accumulated disputes. Over the years, unspoken resentments build. Expectations go unmet. The simple act of existing in the same space requires endless emotional labor. Even in a good relationship, a man must constantly manage his partner's emotional weather. If she is anxious, the house becomes anxious. If she is angry, the house becomes a battlefield. He is perpetually held hostage by the emotional state of another human being. But the single senior man has eliminated this dynamic entirely. When he closes his front door at 7 p.m., he is greeted by a profound, unbroken serenity. There are no passive-aggressive remarks waiting for him in the kitchen. There are no accumulated disputes to resolve before bed. There are no unmet expectations hovering over his head. He enjoys a level of psychological peace and emotional stability that a married man can only dream of. He realizes that avoiding the emotional roller coaster of a relationship is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate masterpiece of a tranquil mind. Reason number 5, the mastery of solitude and the intelligent curation of relationships. Society deliberately weaponizes the fear of being alone. We are conditioned to believe that an empty house equals a tragic life, but psychology draws a sharp, impenetrable line between isolation and solitude. Isolation is the pain of feeling disconnected. Solitude is the joy of being profoundly connected to oneself. The single senior man learns the ultimate life skill, how to be his own best friend. By facing the silence of an empty house, he builds unparalleled psychological resilience. He becomes so comfortable in his own skin that the desperate need for external validation completely evaporates. And paradoxically, because he no longer needs people, the relationships he does choose to maintain become vastly superior. He is no longer forced to endure dinner parties with in-laws he despises. He is no longer obligated to maintain friendships purely out of marital compromise. He takes the shears to his social circle, trimming away the dead branches of obligation. He curates his life. He chooses a small, heavily guarded circle of genuine friends. He engages in deep, comfortable, and highly meaningful interactions entirely on his own terms. He experiences the best parts of human connection, without any of the suffocating obligations of a forced partnership. Happiness after the age of 60 does not require the presence of a romantic partner. In fact, for millions of men, the absence of a partner is precisely what unlocks their ultimate joy. But this freedom requires action. It requires mastery. If you are going to live the path of the sovereign single man, you must do it with intention. You must embrace self-discipline. You must treat your physical body like a temple, maintaining your health so you can actually enjoy your freedom. You must guard your financial fortress with iron gates. You must build a small, meaningful tribe of brothers who challenge and support you. And above all, you must focus on your legacy, what you will leave behind for the world, your family, and your bloodline. Being single in your senior years is not a state of loneliness. It is a state of absolute sovereignty. You are not missing out on life. You are finally living life exactly on your own terms. If you are a man who has chosen the path of sovereignty, know that you are not broken. You have simply awakened. I want to hear from you. Head down to the comments and tell me, what is the greatest advantage you have discovered since embracing the single life after 60? Your wisdom, your scars, and your truth will help guide the men who are still fighting blindly through the storm. If you found value in this deep dive into male psychology, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Sage Academy channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Thank you for watching. Until next time, guard your sanctuary and enjoy your freedom.